Our face-to-face tonight, two people to watch. Andy Krause, the face-off for Scott Gabelson, Captain Courageous, two of the behind-the-scenes guys for these two teams. They can make the difference tonight. And, of course, the goalie, Sal Licasio for New York, Dallas Elliott for Philadelphia, quite simply the best in the league. Dallas #1 in the All-Pro rankings, and Sal Licasio on the second team All-Pro for this year. We are set, the Saints against the Wings, the American Division playoff as we move toward the North American Cup final. We're on the Deuce, coverage of our Major Indoor Lacrosse League. Lee Felsmo along with Christy Lee. New York in the white with the blue shoulders. The black and gray uniforms will be of Philadelphia. There are your colors. Right now, Philadelphia has the ball after New York got the initial face-off. We are moments into the first quarter. And the Spectrum, a great crowd here as they move toward the possibility of Philadelphia regaining the North American Cup. This is Paul Gait, the best offensive shooter. I'm sorry, that was Robbie Sheck. They look so much alike. 18 is Rob Sheck, 19 is Paul Gait. That is a shot. He's got goal. Number 3 coming in shooting quickly is Paul Denikin. Now they're challenging the call. They're saying yes. Licasio says no goal. Let's take a look. Denikin comes in from the right wing. Nobody picks him up. No slide. It wasn't a goal. It was off the backboards. Nothing. Whoa, that wasn't even close. Came off the backboards. Holy smokes. Came off the backboards, laid inside the net on the top side. And I wish they had this replay down there because that is critical. Now they're saying they're waving it off, and they should wave it off. Wake up, my friend. Back there, that wasn't too tough to call. And actually absolutely hit the boards. You would think you could hear it. Doc Doherty on the sideline saying, come on, give me a little bit of a break to start things off. Roy Condon making the call, and now they gave it to him. 1-0. It's up on the scoreboard. So a break for Philadelphia to start things off as if they need it. They've got the leading offense in the league. They have the best defense in the league. Chris Flynn, number 9, playing defense against Vinny Sombrado, number 16. This is New York with the ball. Sombrado, 4 times has played for the United States in the Field Lacrosse World Championships. Matt Panetic tries to get down to O'Keefe, and is picked up by Dallas Elliott. Oh, somebody got hammered right there in front of Dallas Elliott. It was Chris Flynn. He appeals to Tom Young, the ref. No call was made. Here comes Philadelphia. They already have 1 goal. It was questionable. Did not look good on the replay. But right now the score stands 1-0. Kevin Finneran couldn't collect it. Sal Licasio does. Now he'll outlet away from the benches, and they'll change, get some fresh legs on there. This is the rubber match for this season because they each won 1. Actually, it was the home and home series. Philadelphia won here. New York won in New York. And overall, the series is led by the Wings, 10-9. Shot against the great Dallas Elliott. First team All-Pro. Watch out, Matt Panetta. Big, strong shot from out front. Goes wide left. Kevin Finneran off to the races. He's got Gary Gait up front. He can find Gary, but Gary couldn't collect it. Kisslinger back. Now they've got a fast break. This is McCabe looking for the far pipe. Can't find it. A good break there. Push call. Now this hit, watch the hit from behind. There's Flynn getting nailed. This was not called. This was moments ago, a couple series ago. No call was made on that. Referees have a lot to watch. Sometimes they just don't get to see everything, and that may have been the case there. Ball in close. Gummits got it. Now checked out. Chris Flynn picks up the loose ball. Look at the defense by Miko Red Arrow, number 22 for New York. He not only gets the ball out of the offensive stick, he picks up the loose ball. Here comes Gordon Purdy. He's an Australian, plays for the Australian national team. Now lives in New York, Long Island area. Cummings rockets this one off of Dallas Elliott. And still they maintain control. A 30-second shot clock, now down to 25. It's reset if you hit that 18 square feet. Here comes another attempt at it. Mark Millen all the way across. Oh, tough to Cummings. A big save by Elliott. Going from the goalie's left to his right, he had to go pipe to pipe, made a good transition. Here's Doc Doherty getting his guys to stay in it. A bad break in the first minute gave Philadelphia the first goal. It didn't really hit inside the net. Refs gave it to him anyway. The goal judge called it, and they have to respect that call. Paul Gait can't pull it in. Defense Ball goes up and high over the glass and will go back to New York. 11:27 left, first quarter action, 1-0 Philadelphia. Very close game, as you might expect for the American Division playoffs. This is Cummings up front. Great juke move on Flynn. He's open for a shot, but a great save. High position. Follow-up goal. No goal. In the crease. The round circle protects the goalie. And that time, the follow-up shot found a player in the crease. Now watch the circle around the goalie. The ball comes out, picked up there. Watch the foot on the line. Follow-up shot. They called no good because he stepped on the line. Toe was over. Violation of the crease that protects the goalie. Still 1-0 Philadelphia. All right, now we're going to go up with New York. All right, Christy, how are the benches in this American Division playoff?
Well, Lee, we're down here on the New York Saints bench with backup goalie Vinny Pfeiffer. Vinny, the last time your two teams met, you blew out the Wings 13-4. How did you shut out Paul and Gary Gates so effectively last time, and are you going to do it again tonight?
The Gates brothers are two of the best shooters in the league. So you've got to reduce their angles by driving them lower on the goal line extended. That was basically in our game plan last time. We're going to try the same tonight. Difference is we're here in the Spectrum.
All
Tough
right.
place to play.
Well, good luck to the Saints. As you can see, the Gates are going to have to go down low. If the defense works for the Saints, the Wings are going to have to get the goals on the lower corners, and we'll see if they're effective again in shutting out Paul and Gary.
Well, one thing I know they're going to want to do against the Gates, and we'll watch that, is they're going to make them go low on defense. Wrap shot around the shoulder by Oliver Marty, and Elliott again with a big save. So far, he's been perfect. And now he picks up the ball. Here goes the transition to Volker. The point I wanted to make, Christy, is that watch the Gates on defense. They're going to try to make them play the full field. Gary Gate with a full head of steam and a goal. He finds Roach. Gary Gate literally ran over Donnie McNichol. Donnie McNichol, an All-American from Carolina. Watch McNichol set up, and he gets run over by the 6'2", 210 Gary Gate. He's tough. 2-1, 2-0. Philadelphia leads. In the first quarter, 7:21 left, 2-0. Philadelphia leading this one. American Cup playoffs, and this is a power play. 5 for Philadelphia against the 4 players for New York in the white and blue uniforms. Here they go again, trying to get into Denikin. He can't get a shot. McCabe dragging him into the board. Push call. We'll give it back to Philadelphia. McCabe, man down defense. Gary Gate now taking the shot. Shot, no, goal, they save. Keep the clock moving. Big save by Sal Ocasio. With under 7 minutes, the score remains 2-0 in the first period. Well, when you can stop the Philadelphia power play from scoring, you've done a great job. And led by Pat McCabe from Syracuse, who played with the Gates, that defense was stingy. Each team knows they have a fantastic goalie behind them, and that really helps the confidence level of the defense. Trying to get it in close. Sombrado cannot find the mark. Nice cut in front of Elliott. And now Gary Gate will come down and try to reload this offense. They are still on a power play. Locasio 6 saves to 5 for Elliott. The bad number there is that actually that first goal should be a save, and it should only be 1-0. Locasio has played dramatically in the goal. Now watch this save. The last time down, the Marechek shot on the power play. He deflected enough, hits the pipe, and rolls right back out. He scoops it with his hand. Beautiful job by Sal. Dallas Elliott, 35, number 1 guy for Philadelphia. Andy Piazza's behind him. Vinny Pfeiffer behind Sal Ocasio for New York. Easy save for Dallas Elliott. And it'll be Philadelphia ball. Referees call a timeout. And the score 2-0 with 5:43 left in the first quarter. We'll be back with more with our coverage of Major Indoor Lacrosse League action. The Major Indoor Lacrosse League Championship game, that's what this one is leaning toward. It's Saturday the 16th at 2:30 Eastern Time, live on ESPN. So all you Deuce fans, just switch over to the mothership and watch it live from Buffalo. The winner of this game against the Buffalo Bandits, the defending world champions, next week. Paul Gait now coming in, beating one player, now two. Look at the double team. They want to put a lot of bodies on them. They have to. Govett gets it down to Marichek in front. Rogers can't find it. He cannot beat Locascio. Sobrano being very physical. New York has done a great job of staying in this game. 5 minutes left, and really it should be 1-0. If they can go ahead and dent the net, they've got to find rope. They've got to beat Dallas Elliott, and that is the tough part. Deflection there for Elliott. Goes out of bounds. Now it's Philadelphia's ball. The time that they won in New York, Dallas Elliott was injured. He did not play. Andy Piazza played. Although you really got to hang that victory on the defense of New York, because they held Philadelphia to only 4 goals. Govett cannot handle right in front of Locascio, but Marichek does. Teams at even strength. Now picked up by New York. Check the stick right out of his hand. Millen doesn't have anything to play with, but O'Keefe comes in to help out. Push call against Philadelphia. Gary Gait couldn't get it cleanly, and now Cummings will get it going for New York. 4:30 left. Leif Elsmo, Christy Lee with our Deuce coverage of Major Indoor Lacrosse. Watch that wrap shot by Bob Cummings. Just goes wide. They really haven't hit the net as much. One difference between most of the teams in this league and Philadelphia and Buffalo. Philadelphia, Buffalo, even Detroit, they really put the ball on the net. They find rope, make it tough for the goalie to ignore the shot. That one comes in, saved again by Elliott. How do you like that save? 2 in a row. Doc Doherty saying, what do we have to do to put one in there? Watch Elliott make 2 saves. The first one, and then he'll be out of position. There, great body save. Now he's out of position. The follow-up by Purdy, but he just flails his arms at it and makes 2 saves in a row. Was not even balanced on his legs. Great save by the first-team All-Pro. Second in the mill, averaging 34 saves per game. And the save per game number really a little bit deceiving, because he doesn't face as many as Sal does, predominantly because his defense is a little bit better. But his save percentage is right up there with Sal Locaccio's. They are the 2 best in the league. Pulled down from behind. There's a foul called. Yes, 2 minutes. Delayed call by Roy Condon. Bates came in. Mikko Red Arrow was beaten on the first move, so Mikko kind of grabbed him with the offhand, pulled him with the jersey so that he didn't have the one-on-none right in the face of Sal Locascio. It'll be a power play again for Philadelphia. I don't know if New York can keep them from scoring twice in a row. We'll see in a moment. That's the challenge with 3:52 left. Mikko Red Arrow. 2 minutes for holding is the call. Now it's power play, 5-1-4. They start in a diamond, New York does. Now they rotate into a box, try to get the front man. Gary Gait just with a face, full 18 square foot shot. He faced the goal and just took a hard shot. Could not beat Sal Locascio. I think Paul was looking to find a corner, and he didn't find much of a corner. Christy Lee, what do you have for us?
Well, Leaf, down here it's kind of a catch-22 for the New York Saints. They're frustrated because they can't seem to score on Dallas Elliott. They get so close, but they're very happy with the way the defense is playing in this power play situation. Now, when Gary Gait came down here and leveled one of the Saints guys, they wanted to get back, play a little tougher. That's what landed maybe Mikko in that penalty box. But so far, Doc is pretty happy with the defense on the power play situation. Let's see if they can continue.
All right, Christy, maybe you can get some comments from Donnie McNichol, the All-American from North Carolina. He's a rookie. Whoa, the Rockets in ropes for Paul. Paul Gait gets goal number 3. This is nothing but velocity. Up front, rockets the ball past Sal Locascio. 3-0. Philadelphia wins the first power play of the day for them. All right, Red Hot Wings, that's what they are right now. They're off to a 3-0 lead in the first quarter. 3 minutes to go. We're at the Spectrum. Our Deuce coverage. There's Paul Gait, his 32nd goal of the season. And the Gates are taking over this one. 2 Gait goals so far. New York afraid to let them get a big lead. This is what Doc Daugherty was worried about. This team can really explode on offense. Philadelphia can. And then you've really dug yourself a hole and it makes it very tough to come back. Now, the New York Saints do not have a dramatic offense. Their offense is the worst in the league, along with Baltimore. So they've got to keep this one close. It has to be a defensive struggle, and they've got to figure out a way to beat Dallas Elliott. Billy Miller gives it over to Nostrand. He can't pick it up cleanly. Here's Mark Millen. Millen, one of the good-looking rookies. He's got speed past Chris Flynn. He'll try to get the far pipe. Just missed. Half an inch closer, and he had Dallas Elliott beat. Picked off by Paul Gate. And he's literally tackled by Cummings. Hold call. Will give it back to Philadelphia. But that was a good move that he got away with a technical foul only. Christy?
In that last time out, we had a chance to talk with Vinny Pfeiffer. He talked to Sal Locascio Leaf and told him, you're not really playing your game, Sal. You're a little higher of a goalie. You're getting down on your feet too much. Watch and see if Locascio changes his style of play.
All right, something to watch. Sal's played tough enough, but you're right. He has 3 of them in there. 2, actually. We have to keep reminding that first one counted, but it really didn't even go in the net. They have to make up 3 goals to get back into a tie. And New York, as we've talked about, not very explosive on offense. So obviously Doc Daugherty looking to the offensive end of the field because he knows he can't win this game if he doesn't score any goals. And this team has trouble scoring, period. Vinny Sombrado to the follow-up player, Donnie McNichol. He can't beat Dallas Elliott either. Watch out, Martin. Martin can't pick it up cleanly. Here comes Panetta. Panetta has a player in front. It's Oliver Marty. Panetta takes the hard shot and another save by Elliott. They tried to get a good screen for him. Oliver Marty tried to come in and screen for Panetta. They got a little bit confused there. It was 2-on-2. He still got a good hard shot, Panetta did, but Dallas Elliott playing perfect position did not let that ball get close. Saints need rope, but right now the Wings have the ball. Redirect shots on the far side. Locascio looking strong and going low. Part of what Christy Lee was talking about. Maybe he's readjusted his position. Players will pick up those tendencies. They'll talk about it just like Christy was getting from the New York bench. You bet Philadelphia is talking about the goalies and what they're doing. Huff takes a shot, finds rope. Finally, Huff dents the nets, and he puts New York on the board. Steve Huff from North Carolina. Watch this 6-foot, 200-pounder get inside and come right down in the face. It bounced off the chest of Dallas Elliott and rolled in off him. Really, he hit him right in the chest. It rolled in off his equipment. Look at that. Elliott really scored it himself. The ball hit him right in the chest, rolls down between his legs, give Huff the goal. And that was well-timed for Doc Daugherty's team because that brings him back to within 2. 3-1 the score. Less than 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Big goal by Huff. Got right in the face of Elliott. Chris Flynn now controls the faceoff. Martin can't pick it up. Kisslinger cannot either. Huff misses it. Watch out. Finally, this is Flynn coming in. Check from behind. Behind the back shot by Paul. Watch out. Another shot. Chris Flynn can't beat Locascio. Locascio hammering Paul Gates. Locascio comes back and still on top of him. Everybody wants a piece of Paul Gates. Referee's trying to keep it calm. You bet there's frustration for Philadelphia, who is loaded with a great defense that New York has put up against them. That's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back in a moment with our second quarter action. Right now, Philadelphia leads 3-1. It's anybody's game.
Get it moving.
Don't miss the championship game next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern Time, live on ESPN. We're going back to the mothership for our coverage up in Buffalo. The winner of this game will go up there to play the Bandits. Here's the crowd on the Spectrum if Philadelphia goes, they'll miss these guys. This crowd is as good as it gets, except for the Buffalo Bandits, who have played in front of sellout crowds for the last year and a half. We are just getting started with quarter number 2 on our Deuce coverage of the American League playoffs. New York has played very tough defense on the Gates. Right there, they showed that they locked him up pretty well. Gary Gait has a goal where they locked him up beautifully there. The ball goes way back behind the line. Stats close for shots. Loose balls controlled by Philadelphia, and faceoffs even enough that there's no big advantage there. So New York has done the job. They've got to figure out a way to beat Dallas Elliott. 3-1 the score. Mark Millen tries to beat him this time, and Elliott comes up big and tall to make the save. Rob Scheck, number 18, All-American at Towson State. He's great in the open field, just like this. This is where he made his All-American status, shooting hard on the run. Gabrielson, though, couldn't collect his pass. Boy, I would like to see Scheck just keep going with that one and let it rip, because he's got a tremendously hard shot, right or left, which he's got if he has space. Pat McCabe. Illegal procedure. All right, Roy Condon trying to get things squared out. Looks like illegal procedure against Denikin.
You got penalties on both teams. 3 for throwing a stick and a roughing on them. White keeps the ball.
All right, White will have the ball. New York will have the ball. Penalties on both teams. Now watch this as they go upfield. 2 players in the middle lock up. The stick is on the ground. Now they'll try to get it. He chucks the stick after it broke, threw it way up into the crowd, and then this penalty follows up that flagrant stick throw. So both of those players will spend time in the box. And we should be, as we look at the penalty box, Mark Millen takes a seat. We should be 4-on-4, and that's what it looks like on the field. New York will get the ball. O'Keefe will inbound, number 7 for New York. But it will be 4-on-4. I think this kind of open field where you have one less player really helps Philadelphia more. They've got the big, strong Gate brother combination, and you put Marichek in there, they can do magical things if they get their hands on the ball, and they have more space to do it. But let's see if they can get it up to their offensive end. Now it's Vinny Sombrado coming in. Oh, the check up front. It was a screen, a pick. Moving pick is the call, illegal pick. So now the ball goes back to Philadelphia. Let's see if they get the Gates and Marichek on. Yes, they do. Paul Gates, Scheck, Tom Marichek. Vinny Sombrado, watch there it is, the screen come up, and that was a moving pick. Gives the ball back to Marichek and company. Watch Marichek come in. Bounce shot wide of the goal. This is Robbie Scheck. That ball checked loose. Tommy Marichek is really the one I would fear down here. He can really feed so beautifully, but Scheck brings it back. Marichek, watch out, fake, and he misses the goal again. Could have been deflected. Sal Licasio congratulates himself. He probably got a piece of it. Great save for Licasio. Christy, what do you have?
Well, Dave, down here on the bench, of course, the coaches want to put in their strongest guys on this power play situation, both defensive and offense. That's why you saw Paul, Gary Marichek, and Robbie Scheck. Those are their offensive powerhouses, and look for them again when they come back on the offensive end.
And right now, Christy, they're down there having to play defense, so this is something that New York likes. Tire them out. There's a shot up front. No follow-up. That would have been crucial. They can't get the follow-up shot. Another point to watch. You need to get the follow-up shot. Watch Marichek. Fast break into Paul. He can't pick it up. Now he does. He looks for Marichek as Miko Red Arrow wraps him against the board. This is Flynn to Tommy Marichek. 2 fakes. Big save by Licasio. Licasio's made 2 sensational saves the last 2 times down. All that extra room has given Marichek time to work with the stick. Watch the magic of Marichek's stick. Fake low, fake high, and then he comes up to the shoulder, but Licasio waits to the last moment to react to the shot. That's the key for an indoor goalie. Don't take the first fake. Wait till the ball leaves the stick. Licasio, Elliott do it as well as anybody in the league. Score 3-1, 11:38 left in the second. Ground balls led by the Wings, 30-21. That gives them control of the offense. Tony Resch, coach of the Philadelphia squad, his first year in that position. Steve Kisslinger, all the way across, tries to find the middle. This is Mike Cummings, who gets locked up and taken down by Jimmy Rogers. Rogers is a great-looking rookie. Watch Rogers come in. Cummings was getting too open, so Rogers just takes him down to the carpet. Rogers will get 2 minutes in the box. So this will cost them. Now New York will have a power play, and a timeout is called by Doc Doherty. Doc Doherty wants to get his power play set up so he gets a good shot on this. It'll be 4-on-3, I believe, but it'll be certainly a power play for New York when we come back. The Wings lead 3-1. Plenty of time left in the second quarter. All right, Big Gabe, the cheerleader, the head cheerleader here, also the father of Scott Gabrielson. It's his birthday, and the whole crowd just saying happy birthday to Big Gabe. Right now, though, New York wants to get some rope. They bring it in close. O'Keefe tries to get air. Nothing to shoot at in that close. They moved it beautifully, but O'Keefe, when he held it down that low, really nothing to shoot at. He launched himself in the crease, could not beat Elliott. Now they're still a man down, but they have possession of the ball. Miller gets it all the way over to Scott Gabrielson. They have to be careful. New York does too, because many teams in the Major Indoor Lacrosse League will score when they are man down if the other team gets reckless. Let's watch how New York plays it. If New York wants to just eat up 30 seconds, they'll get the ball back. Let's see if they gamble. Flynn has a shot, goes wide. Lacasio will go back and pick it up. New York did a good job of not being too risky. Philadelphia did a nice job, too, because they actually got a shot off with about 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Now they'll reset the power play. It's 5-on-4. Cummings up top. Rocket shot. This is the net. New York looking for rope. They're down by 2. Second quarter action. There's another shot that misses the pipe. Can they get it back? Flynn tries to corral it. Flynn can't get it. Far side. Watch out. Is this Scott Gabrielson going to run? No, Brian Volker. Brian Volker, great defensive specialist. All-American in Hopkins. He doesn't want to take the offensive end. He wants to get off the field, and he does. Let's put a fresh guy on there for him. Lacasio, his 11 saves against 15 by Elliott. But just then, Chris Flynn scores man down. Watch out when your team's man down. I just talked about it, and that's what can happen. If you gamble too much, you'll create an opportunity for the team that's a man down. New York was pressing a little bit, and they gave Flynn a chance. Look at Flynn with the open area. He comes in. Great face dodge on one player, that's Panetta, and just bounces it past Sal Lacasio for the 4th goal of this game. They now lead by 3. Again, Flynn will just beat Panetta. Face dodge move, pulls the stick back and bounces it far side. Right around hip high. Lacasio can't stop that one. Chris Flynn, he loves his crowd. He played at Penn, so he's a local favorite. Chris Flynn played football. He's got a heart as big as an elephant. This guy is nothing but 100% action. 9:30 left in the second quarter. 4-1, Philadelphia leading. Lee Felsbo, Christy Lee, our ESPN2 coverage of Major Indoor Lacrosse. And this is an American League divisional playoff. New York shocked the league when they beat Philadelphia. They didn't just beat them, they hammered them. They were up in New York earlier this year. But that was only one of 2 wins for New York. So this team really, because of a lack of offense primarily, has had a tough time getting some W's this year. They are in a chance here, though, to get into the final game, the championship game, if they can beat the strong Philadelphia Wings. This is Robbie Scheck, number 18. In close, watch out! Shot over the top, that was Gabrielson. Gabrielson now tries to get it back. What a year Scott's having. He's a captain of the team. He's got great ground ball numbers, and he's also the best face-off man. Scott Gabrielson there had a great series. Now the outlet pass, watch out, down to Millen. He can't pick it up. Whoa, what a chance they would have had to score, but the rookie took his eyes off it for a moment. Great outlet pass by Lacasio. One more shot, possibly. Oh, a rocket check right to the head by Scheck. He'll spend 2 minutes in the box. Scheck ran up behind on the offensive play, and he went high on the check. This is Donnie McNichol. Now watch Scheck come into his face. Scheck came in to apply a check, and by the time he got there, look at McNichol knows that it's going to be 2 minutes because he took it right in the face mask. Rob Scheck goes over and gets a little pine. Another chance for New York to score. They have not been too impressive on this power play. You remember the last time they took a couple shots from up top, Cummings did. They got second and third shots, but finally, without hitting the net, the ball went back to Philadelphia. And ultimately, they scored a man short. Down by 3. Look at the pressure put on by Govett up top. In close, bounce shot won't go. They brought the ball right into the face of Elliott with 2 passes, but they cannot beat him. Somebody's stick is broken. Illegal procedure, and Vinny Sombrado snapped the head of his stick off of the aluminum pole, so he'll go back in and get repaired. That plastic molded head is held on by one single screw on that aluminum pole, so that just simply that coming loose.
You can watch the game live right here from Ovation.
This is the Gates brother combination into Denikin. It was Paul to Gary to Denikin. Now Denikin getting double teamed. Panetta picks it up. Panetta's got great size. Into Krause. Krause is waiting for the ball, can't pick it up. It was O'Keefe who had it and was on the ground, but finally Cummings picks it up with 7:30 left. They're still down by 3, and they are still in the power play for another minute and 10 seconds. Good patience getting the ball back. This is Krause up top. Cummings triggers from the very, very top of this power play situation. This is Cummings here. He likes to shoot from there. Bounces it off of Martin's leg. Watch out. Gary is wide open if they can get it to him. Paul can't pick it up. Gary Gate is waiting down in front of the goal. He's still waiting there. Somebody better get back down there. Paul hits him. Watch out. It'll be all over. Rope. Lacasio shaking his head saying, hey, that wasn't hard to predict. Gary was sitting down here poaching for about 20 seconds. All by himself, they rocket the ball up. Paul gives it to Gary. Gary comes in one fake, finds Rope 5-1. The Wings are in front. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. This one's getting out of hand. Philadelphia leads 5-1. You're looking at the crowd at the Spectrum. How about that for a great Jimmy Jib shot from down the corner? An exclusive shot in the lacrosse world. Care of ESPN2 and Bill Fitz and Company. Philadelphia last 2 goals have been man down, and that is a backbreaker. They are still man up now, but can you imagine that, having a man up opportunity, giving up 2 goals? Now they come in against Dallas Elliott, and they cannot get a goal. The last time, New York really fell asleep because Gary was down there waiting for a long time. They know that's their reputation. The Gates fire out of the defensive end, and they look to get the fast break going because nobody can really stop them when they are in front of the defense. Saints average 10 goals per game, and that is the worst in the mill. We've talked about their offensive woes, and that number says it all. Meanwhile, Philadelphia averaging a little over 15 goals a game. Philadelphia also sporting the best defense. Double teaming on Gary, gives it back to Paul. Both Gates on the floor at the same time. This creates problems for the defense. Wrapped around the back. You like to double the Gates. What do you do when both of them are on the floor at the same time? Well, here we go. Let's see. McCabe takes on Paul. Shot clock violation. Good job by New York. Both Gates on the field. All kinds of problems with the defense of Doc Doherty. But even up, New York has done a good job. 5-1 the score. Kesslinger and Gary Gate going at it, and that's who Roy Condon's talking to. Watch 22 and 88 for New York. There's a hard shot, saved by Dallas Elliott. Kesslinger was one of the best long stick players in the field game. Likes to go and match up against Gary Gate. And they are having some off-ball. Now it's Gary Gate and Mark Mills. So Gary Gate getting marked. Paul Gate off to the races. He's got Nostrid. Nostrid will get it back to him. Here he comes for the shot, and a great save. Big save. It was Nostrid to Paul Gate on the fast break. Tried to get into Johnny Nostrid again. He tried to flip it in, double teamed on the D. Fast break so dangerous when you've got the Gates out in front. Here comes Andy Krause. Folks in Charlottesville remember Andy Krause is an All-American. He rockets a hard shot. He's got one of the best left-handed shots, and that was a field play, folks, because he had nothing but green, came down hard left-handed run, and just burned it past Elliott. Beautifully done. Watch, he'll just sight up his target, beats Rogers, and then just puts everything behind it. Sheer speed, approaching 100 miles an hour, beats the reflexes of Dallas Elliott. 5-2, New York is still in it.
Back here here on the Deuce, where we have a lead by the Wings, 5-2. Paul Gait, one of the stars of the Philadelphia Wings. Paul, we all know that New York had a real windig of a game with you last time. They shut you guys completely out. How have you adjusted your scoring on Sal today?
Well, actually, we're just hitting the corners, getting up and down the sides of the net where we should be shooting. He's sitting way back in the net, and the key to scoring on a goalie that sits back is picking those corners, and we are.
Is it hard for you not to look ahead?
No, actually, it's very easy not to look ahead. I mean, we're playing a tough team out here. It's only 5-3, and there's a half a game left.
All right, thank you very much. Paul Gait, one of the stars here for the Philadelphia Wings. Look for him to score some more, Leif.
Well, last time he played, Christy, he scored 10 goals against Boston. That's an all-time record for major indoor lacrosse. And that gave him the season lead in goals, beating John Tavares with that 10-goal outing in Boston. So he ends up with the most goals for 94 in the regular season. Sombrano takes a shot, a very weak shot against Dallas Elliott. Elliott almost fell over. He was so surprised it didn't do much. So the ball goes back to Philadelphia. They have a 3-goal lead. Really, with all the dominance, the shots they've had, 3-goal lead is not much. You're familiar with our indoor lacrosse coverage. You've watched our Monday night game. Did you know that 3 goals is still anybody's game? We saw 3 goals scored in Detroit in less than 30 seconds. So if you want to feel comfortable in this league, you've got to get more than a 3-goal lead. Exactly what they'll be trying to do here as they get the ball into Billy Miller. Miller gets rocked in the head, and that'll cost 2 minutes. Sal Licasio makes the big save, but any check above the shoulders will put you in the box. Matt Panetta went high, trying to square up in the shoulders. The check to the head will put him in the box, and now this will be the power play for Philadelphia. Boy, they've been great man down.
From a back pick.
Scott Gardy talking to Roy Condon. That's Matt Panetta, All-American attackman at Johns Hopkins, a lacrosse factory in Baltimore. Paul Gait will inbound on the power play. The score is 5-2, and this is a margin of 4 if they get this goal. Really makes a difference in indoor lacrosse. Paul takes a shot from out front, and follow-up no good from Denikin. New York gets the ball. Not one of Paul's better shots. Now Miko Redero will come up and try to kill at least 30 seconds off the 2-minute penalty to Matt Panetta. Gordon Purdy now with the ball. Shot clock down to 15. Philadelphia not gambling. They'll let 30 seconds go off their power play. They'll know they'll have at least a minute left on that power play. More than a minute if they get it back. Now Miko Redero has to take a shot to reset it. He better put something on the goal. He does. They get a fresh 30-second clock. Can they pick it up? No. Not yet. Huff tries to get it back to Elliott. They'll have the ball. Gary Martin is a defensive man in there to get the ball back. He'll come off. Now here comes Maricek. Denikin down low. Paul Gait will be up top. This is Denikin down low. This is Tommy Maricek, 42. Paul Gait right there, the trigger man. Gary, his brother. Down to Denikin. He can't put it in. That's Finneran rounding off the power play. Finneran, a look-away feed all the way across. Does it go in? Yes! Rope! Kevin Finneran with a look-away feed. He's one of the best assistmen in the league. Tied Tommy Maricek in assists for the league. Watch on the far side. When he gets the ball, he'll look out front to get the attention of the defense looking a different way, and then glance out front and gets it back to Denikin. It just rolls in. When Finneran knew he was going to try to thread the needle, he glanced to the top of the key to try to get the defense looking that way, to try to create an alley for his feed, and it's definitely gotten through. The backdoor shot makes the score 6-2. Second quarter action. Gary Gait now going against Steve Sombrano. Gary Gait, very tough to get the ball out of that stick. Not only strong and powerful, but the stick is pinched down very small. This is Robbie Sheck. Whoa, look at that shot. Robbie Sheck has won the fastest shot contest they have in Vail 2 or 3 times, I think, over the last 4 years. Philadelphia really controlling the loose balls 41-33, and that, of course, is so critical because New York, being a poorer shooting team, has to control the ball for more shots. Just like basketball, if you don't shoot as well.
Right up up here. 11, right there. 11, keep going. No. Right there.
All right, Kevin
11,
Spinnerin gets
11,
called.
flat.
Roy Condon very sure of the call. It's challenged by Denikin. He said nope.
11.
Right up there, he says, right up to the head. Watch the check come in. That check right into the neck. And Denikin was arguing it was on the shoulders. And you can see that it hits right in the neck area. Anything close to the head, the referees want to protect the players. So he'll spend some time to box, and New York will have a power play. We haven't played even up too much here in the second quarter. Shots all even in the game right now, 24-24. Backdoor, watch O'Keefe. He looks like he's open. Miller trying to play him. Here's O'Keefe now. All the way to the far side. They couldn't get the shot off. Sombrano couldn't collect it. Cummings likes to shoot it right here. Rocket. Couldn't find it. Follow-up shot. Too many fakes. Vinny Sombrano. 2 fakes. Didn't get the shot. The defense really leveled them. Again, Vinny Sombrano. Now he can't pick it up. Pushed against the boards by Martin.
Push in the black, white ball out there. Top right, top right.
New York will reload, lock and load that offense. They need a power play goal big time here. 6-2, they're down by 4. Hard shot by Panetta. Doesn't beat Ellie. Backdoor! Rope!
He didn't run you. He was on him. What's the most?
Yes, they're going to count it. Great shot. The back door is so effective. Each team using it to score man up. The last 2 goals, each team going to the back door. Watch the goalie. Elliott cannot go from one pipe to the other fast enough. The shot comes in, just finds Rope. O'Keefe, beautiful job, but the real key is getting the feed from one side to the next. If this feed goes through, the goalie can do little about it. If they are accurate on the shot, O'Keefe was. He scores the 3rd goal of the game for the Saints. The score is 6-3. And it really is a huge goal for New York because, again, they're back within that magic number 3. Take away that first goal that Philadelphia scored, which really wasn't a goal, and mentally, you've got to do that if you're New York, and this game is very close. Sal Ocasio making another save on Gary Martin. New York holding Philadelphia well under their season average. About 2 goals under their season average. Great shot, Gary Gates finding Rope on the far side. 2 good fakes. The ball was loose, and nobody picked up Gary. He had some room. Panetta doesn't get him. They wave at his stick. They got to take the body. Lacasio was one-on-one with Gary Gates. Again, 2 waves with the stick. Everybody bodies all over the field, and Lacasio could not beat the accuracy of Gary Gates. A margin back to 4, and with less than 30 seconds in the second quarter, the score now 7-3. Gary Gates has really taken over this game as far as offense for Philadelphia. He has 3 goals, a hat-trick already. New York trying to get the ball. Nobody will get the ball in time to do anything about it. That'll be the end of the first half. The Wings really on the back of Gary Gates are off to a 7-3 lead in the first half of this divisional playoff. And Gary Gates, as I mentioned, really controlling the offense. Here's his last goal. Philadelphia, 4-goal lead.
Go first class with the host hotels of the Major Indoor Lacrosse League. In Baltimore, the Sheraton Inner Harbor Hotel. In Boston, the Boston Marriott at Copley Place. And the Cambridge Center Marriott. In Buffalo, the Buffalo Hilton. In New York, the Long Island Marriott. And in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Airport Marriott. The official hotels of the Major Indoor Lacrosse League.
Accommodations for the Major Indoor Lacrosse League are provided by the Philadelphia Airport Marriott. Well, it's the Coors Light halftime report. Welcome back to the Philadelphia Spectrum. I'm Christy Lee. The Philadelphia Wings leading 7-3 over the New York Saints in this playoff game. Last Saturday night, we had the first playoff game, and we were at the Odd in Buffalo. Since I'm in control tonight, you guys back in the truck better roll that highlight package right now. Let's take a look at what went on. It was a battle from the beginning. In fact, rookie sensation Tyson Lyons made an unbelievable score on his back for the Bandits. Take a look overhead. But Turbo's goalie Steve Dietrich had an incredible night with save after save after save. Check out this dive. 50 saves on the night for Dietrich. Unbelievable. Bob the Hammer Hamley scores one of his three. A hat trick for Hammer. Don't count out those Turbos. Sarah Dowling, one of the wild bunch, keeps the Turbos in the game. Jimmy Meredith. Oh, you should have seen him with another goal for the Turbos. He had a great, successful night against goalie Bill Gary. He likes to play against Gary. It's getting closer. The Turbos are coming back to Wayne Jacobs scores here. Another wild puncher. We're all tied, but the league's MVP and one of the leading scorers, John Tavares, shows his stuff. Look at it again. We're tied at 6. Then the wall came tumbling down for the Turbos. This cheap shot by Pat Coyle, controlled accordingly, and the ensuing incident with the referee. Coyle does the unthinkable. He knocks down Greg Mallon. Coyle is tossed not only from the game, but out of the league, and his teammates hopes for a win are gone forever. Buffalo explodes on the power play. The Hammer hammers it again. The game's MVP, Darris Kilgore, with yet another Bandit goal. That overhead shot. Those Kilgore brothers, Darris has a brother Rich, in case you didn't know. They were awesome last night. Backdoor, in your face. Once again, another look at the Kilgore. Darris Kilgore. He was voted MVP of the game. It was all Bandits from there. The seventh man, the fans letting the wonderful Turbos know that their season's over. Their Bandits are moving on. We'll be back with more halftime frivolity coming up on the Deuce.
Welcome back to the Spectrum, our Coors Light halftime report. Philadelphia leading the New York Saints 7-3. And if you're New York, you're thinking, well, this isn't too bad. Our defense is being pretty stingy. But Philadelphia is starting to get cranked up. That offense is very scary when you let the Gates get rolling. And the Gates are rolling. Gary Gates, 3 goals. Paul, 1 and 2. So watch out if you're a New York fan. Watch out for those Gates brothers as they get into the second half. Let's take a look at the stats in the first half to see how the numbers line up. Of course, the score is 7-3. It's shots on goal. You can see how Philadelphia is a much better shooting team. We talked about that some. Loose ball controlled by Philadelphia. And the save, Dallas Elliott doing the better job in the goal. Face-off controlled by a slim margin. And the power play goals are really the big story. 2 goals and 3 attempts for Philadelphia. None for New York, plus 2 shorthanded goals for Philadelphia. So they've scored 4 in uneven situations. The Saints, not much scoring, and all of it very close. A backdoor shot on a power play, 1 goal right in the red zone. Good shooting from there, and 1 from the goalie's right. But look at all the shots from the goalie's right. 10, a little bit of unbalance there, but they need more goals, more rope. For Philadelphia, they really have put pressure on Salacasio. 4 goals right in the red zone, right in the face of Salacasio. All of their goals in the first 3 zones, and that is really great shooting. They're waiting, they're being patient. Let's take a look at the next big matchup, the final game of the '94 season. It'll be next week, 2:30 live, Eastern Time on ESPN. We're going back to the mothership for the championship game from Buffalo. Don't miss it, and we'll be back for the second half of this matchup, so stick along for the ride. Welcome back to the Spectrum. The crowd is getting riled up as their team gets themselves poised for a rematch with Buffalo. If they can hold on, they now lead 7-3 as we get ready for third quarter action on the Deuce. This is the American Division playoff. Lee Elsmo, Chrissy Lee, and there's the face-off. The Saints in white and blue. The hometown Philadelphia Wings in the black and silver. Johnny McNichol from North Carolina. Called for the push. The ball will go back to Philadelphia. They've really had a lot of success, uneven situations in the first half. 2 goals on their own power play, 2 goals a man short. This is Gary Gait. He had a big first half. He's already got a hat trick. Look at the double team. Double teamed early. Can he get rid of it? Spinner is wide open. Rope. Seconds into the third quarter, Gary Gait gets his helmet ripped off. But he found Finneran. Passing the ball is key. Watch how he gets double teamed, but he finds the open man. Kevin Finneran wraps it around the hip. Notice how he aims hip high. The hourglass shape of a person makes it tough to cover that hip. The arm and the stick can't get there. He's shot hip high, far pipe. Perfect technique for Kevin Finneran. One of those unsung heroes. And now let's take a look. Now it's an 8-3 game. Now they're up by 5. It's on the scoreboard. And still taking the scoreboard. 8-3. I'm understanding that there might be a little question whether it was a goal or not.
Cut on his leg.
Second face-off of the third quarter. We're still not even a minute into.
White ball, because I called white. White ball.
All right, Roy Condon taking charge, giving it to Steve Kisslinger. Kisslinger, number 88. As they fire up the offense, McCabe now over to Gordon Kirby. The Australian tries to get into Nico Red Arrow. It's a real politically correct mix they've got out there. An Australian, Nico Red Arrow, and that's Native American Indian. Along with some good old New York boys. Winner plays Buffalo in the Mills Championship. The loser plays Goff or the game of their choice. This is another Gait brother shot. No, it's Robbie Sheck, the Gait lookalike. Robbie Sheck comes in with that right-handed shot. They bounce off a defensive player. They're down to 13.5 minutes. 8-3 the score now. New York is really being pressured to close that gap. Sal Ocasio remains in the goal, as does Dallas Elliott as we start the second half. Gordon Purdy. Got great speed, Gordon does. And you might know that, notice if you hear the voice throughout the game, that is our referee. Head referee Roy Condon, who's been Mike. And we'll try to keep you a little closer to the action. This is how he controls the game. You get a better feel of what he goes through to maintain composure in a game that is very physical, very rough. Finneran comes out. Look at the speed of Kevin Finneran from Ohio Wesleyan. He's got Gary Gait to his right. He'll go to Gary. He can't pick it up. Gary ducked one missile, and the ball's still loose. Finneran finally gets it. Still looking for a Gait on the far side. Now up top to Paul. He found one of them. There goes Roach. It was Gary to Finneran to start off the third quarter. Now Finneran returned the favor. Gary was covered, so he went to brother Paul. The brothers on the field at the same time, presenting a lot of problems to New York. Finneran out front to Paul. He rockets this one, same spot. Far side, stick side on Sal Ocasio, and just the speed of that shot beating the second team All-Pro. Paul Gait again looking for some shots. Picked up by Sombrado, though. He couldn't get in. Sombrado beats 2 defensive players. Paul Gait, Don McNichol going at it behind the play. Steve Sombrado now gives it into Matt Panetta. Sombrado now with Purdy. Purdy will try to get around the one defender, that being Paul Gait. Vinny. Sombrado with a little 5-hole shot trying to get between the legs of Elliott. But you better crank it up about 40 more miles an hour. O'Keefe gets doubled, tries to do a little behind-the-back shot, not much on it. Martin up to Paul Gait. No defender, but just a little bit over his head. This still could be trouble. Paul Gait can get air, and he'll be trouble to Maricek, though, for the speed. This is Chris Flint. Bounces off the face mask of Gordon Purdy. He's being pushed in by Paul Gait. And that's the call. The ball go back to New York. The Gates have been getting roughed up a lot because they are the focal point of any defense. Look at this shot. on the chin of Paul Gates. These guys are tough. Let me tell you, they have been the focus of anybody's defense since the day they got into the game of lacrosse. As young teams, they developed such great skills and played together that they have been getting, again, just the double teams, the best defender. Three-time national champions at Syracuse. They led that team along with Tom Marichuk. So they're used to getting mauled, and they do. Tough kids at 6'2", 215. Identical twins. Here's Johnny Nelson now, though, for Philadelphia. He's got a good shot himself. Everybody going stick side, hip high on Sal Licasio. Check. Same shot. Big save for Sal. 10 minutes left, 10:40 left in the third quarter. A margin of 6 goals now. Trouble for New York. They've got to find an offense. Chrissy Lee, what's the sideline look like in the third quarter?
Well, Leif, I can tell you that offense was definitely talked about in the locker room at halftime. Doc thinks that his team has given Dallas a little too long to look at their offense. He wants to get those quicker releases, and he wants to do it in a higher percentage area. In the alley, get there right in front of him, but don't give him too much time to watch what they're doing. Let's see if they can do it.
All right, good word for the offense, and easy to do in theory. Let's see if they can do it in reality. Rob Scheck gets absolutely leveled. Bob Cummings will go into the penalty box. Scheck is okay. He's up and walking. It'll be a power play when we come back. The Wings, a 6-goal lead in the third quarter.
Well, we're back at the Spectrum, and on the defensive side, Don, you have been leveled a couple of times by the gate.
All you got to do is put a body on them, force them to their weak side, and then hope you get a double team. They're big body, so you put a body on. They got 50 pounds on me, so I alter their shot. That's all I can do, and then I hope for some help. Otherwise, they got nothing on us. They got nothing on us. You get to play doubles and triples.
From North Carolina, Don McNichol. Thanks a lot, Don. He looked like he had his wind knocked out a couple of times, though.
All right, Johnny McNichol really trying to stop the Gates on the defensive specialists as they go mostly man-to-man on the Gates and try to zone and help underneath on the defensive end. Right now, defense isn't the problem. Offense is, but watch out for Gary. Sal Licasio makes the save. It's a power play. Philadelphia 5 against the 4 for New York. Gordon Purdy's up and running. Watch out. Here comes McCabe. If they can get it up to McCabe, McCabe's all alone. No whistle. Here comes Dallas Elliott, and he gooses the ball into the crowd. As soon as Dallas Elliott touched the ball, it was an over and back violation, and will give the ball to New York. Plenty of time left in that penalty, though. They are a man down, so they'll just try to burn up some of the 5-minute penalties that New York has to live through. That was a 5-minute major, so more than 2 minutes. They've got a lot of time, and it'll be unbelievable if they can keep the score 9-3. That's where we are right now. Shot clock down to 5. Krause moves. He's got a great left hand and takes a shot right into the 5-hole between the legs of Elliott. Well played by New York. Very cautious and got the shot at the last moment, hoping that they get the rebound and try to burn up another 30 seconds. Their penalty now down to 3:30, but here comes Philadelphia. Paul Gates got to pick that one up. He'll be the trigger man up top, the point man, the quarterback, Gary Gates. All the way down low, back door to Finneran. There's Denikin on one side to Finneran. Here's Donnie McNichol. We just talked to him. He gives the ball up. Millen, Krause is open. Give it to Krause. No, he waits too long. Krause was wide open. They didn't do it. This is Steve Sombrado, number 5. Brother Vinny comes on. 8:24 left. 9-3 the score here at the Spectrum. And a power play that'll last for another 2 minutes and 50 seconds for the Philadelphia Wings. Lovett now gets control. New York drops back into that defense. They've done a great job keeping them out of the goal on the power play. New York, you can see the problem there. Philadelphia very even, 3-4-2 in the quarters, but New York 1-2 and nothing in the third so far. They need to score and get this game closer to have any chance in the fourth. Miller up top now. They mix it around a little bit. Miller is the second unit offense on the power play. Sombrado faking out Chris Flynn. Faked like he was giving it back to the goalie. Now he goes to the sideline, Oliver Mardy. That major 5-minute penalty now down to 2:15. So it'll be under 2 minutes left. And still they've held Philadelphia without a goal on this 5-minute major penalty. Marty tries to go through his 2-3 players. They better get a shot on the goal. There's 5 seconds left. Kick it in the corner, guys. You might get in trouble. Sombrado, who does finally get it down low. All right, a call against Scott Gabrielson. And you can see Elliott with 28 saves, Ocasio with 24. Both goalies taking a lot of shots. Doc Doherty there. Concerned, as you might imagine. He needs offense. He needs it now. 9-3 the score. 6 goals down. But now New York really can't pressure. They've got 4-on-4. 2 men in the box. They'll be about even. New York will have an extra man at the very end for about 8 seconds. Hard shot with Donnie McNichol, I believe. He took the shot and gets the goal. No reaction from the crowd. They're stunned, but what a great shot to bring it back to within 5. Watch McNichol from North Carolina. Comes inside the defense. Just a hard right-handed shot before he is hit. Elliott thought he had the angle covered. That one stings the defense of the Wings. Now 9-4 the score in the 3rd quarter. First goal of the night for Donnie McNichol. What a leader he was for a team in North Carolina. Matt Mineta drives in, left-handed shot. Oh, he had rope, but a big save by Dallas Elliott. Now the major penalty to New York. They are still 4-on-4, and another shot, another goal. Oliver Marty finds rope. Watch out. Here come the Saints. 9-5. They're back to within 4. And Philadelphia just sort of hanging around. Marty takes his shot. Sticks the 5th goal of the game. Watch out. Philadelphia. The Saints are marching. Oliver Marty gets the 5th goal of the season for him. He also gets the 5th goal of the game today. A big goal now brings his team to within 4. They've scored the last 2 goals, and they've done it in a stunning fashion. 2 goals in 20 seconds to really shock Philadelphia, who had a power play for 5 minutes and blew the opportunity. Gary Gait looking for help. Chico Red Arrow bounced up beautifully against him. Now there's the check, and the screen set up for Gary Gait's shot. Boom! Off the shoulders of Sal Ocasio. The picks are really causing trouble for New York. Watch out, in close, that'll be Rope. Sal Ocasio begging the referee, saying he was in the crease. But you cannot let Gary Gait get open that close to the goal and expect that man to make the save. A lot of chaos on the defense, and they find Gary wide open. He makes his 2, 3, 4 fakes, gets Sal up. And when Sal is up, he finally commits. Watch Ocasio finally commit to the 3rd fake. 1, 2, 3. Finally, he goes up, and when he goes up, Gary goes the opposite way. He got him to take the fight on the high shot, a high fake, and when Ocasio goes up on his feet, on his toes, he just dumped it underneath him. 10-5, big goal for Gary Gait, who really is taking charge of the offense. His 4th goal of the night. Now New York, Steve Sombrano in the face of Elliott. Big save. A follow-up goal. Rope for McNichol. He's got 2 of the last 3. The young kid doing a job. Elliott stunned. And they've done all this with a man in the penalty box. Sombrano comes right back out to McNichol, who did a great job of cutting off the ball. He cuts off the ball. Watch Elliott's head spinning. Here he comes around and looks at McNichol. No, that's the first save on Sombrano. Elliott looks behind him. Now he has to spin 180. He can't get set. Beautiful job by McNichol. He knew that Elliott was in a bad spot to make any save. He got in the right position at the right time. McNichol's hustle off the ball gets goal number 6. They're back to within 4. Gary Gait wants to do it all. In front of the goal, Ocasio picks it up, makes the save. That was Scott Gabrielson. The defense of Bob Cummings did his job. When Gabrielson got the ball, he knocked him off his feet to take any velocity from that shot, and Sal made the easy save. Watch the cutter again in the face of Dallas Elliott. That was Kisslinger. Christie, they are doing a job on the New York side.
That's right, Leaf. They're excited about the fact that their offense seems to be working. The quicker release, as we talked about earlier, and they want to go over the left shoulder of Dallas Elliott if possible, but definitely higher on him. They want to get over him, not so low on Dallas. It's worked for the last 3 goals.
This game is tough. Look at the hit applied by Mark Millen on Bates. And that, you can see, will cost him 2 minutes. New York has done all this damage with a man in the penalty box. They've had a major penalty. And now Millen goes in the box, so they've had a guy over there for most of this quarter. Paul Gate will start over to Gary, down to Finneran. You know these guys by now. He's the best offensive players. Paul Gate up to Marichek. Look at Marichek. Back to Gary. Rope. That was a video replay out of the great days of Syracuse. Marichek to Gate. Starts with Paul, down to Marichek, wraps it around. You can't play defense against that. Gary was wide open. Watch Sal. He's mad. He swings the stick. You've got to cover the gates. New York feels like if you cover the gates, there's nobody else on the roster, in their opinion, that can kill them. Well, Marichek and the Gates is really having it their way, Gary especially. Open the floodgates, and that's exactly what they're doing. 11-6 the score now with under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. New York still has the offense going. That broke the momentum, but let's see if New York can get it back. Right now, Philadelphia controls the faceoff. This is Paul Gate. Watch the shot out front. Smothered by Sal Licasio. He looks for the outlet. Nobody's running. Tired legs on New York. Pat McCabe. Up top to Gordon Purdy. He's got good speed. He'll try to beat one man. Now look back to the trailing player. Being pushed off by the defense. Here's the pick trying to be set by McCabe behind him. Purdy, shot clock down to 8. In front, Panetta cannot get it past Elliott. Fresh shot clock, but Elliott makes the nifty save. Good cut right in his face by Matt Panetta. Now this New York bunch will be tired. Let's see how they play defense. Shove it in front, row! Goal number 12. I think the New York line was just too tired. They had made 2 runs. Look at them, exhausted. They can't play the defense on Govett. The 12th goal of the game for Philadelphia. They lead by 6 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. All right, the Spectrum crowd riding a roller coaster. It was a tight first half, and then a margin was opened up by Philadelphia, only to be closed by New York as they made a run. And now Philadelphia has lengthened their lead to 6 goals. New York, though, wants to change that right here. Steve Sombrado comes in, beats one man, but cannot beat Dallas Elliott, and that's the guy you've got to beat. Wow, big, tough defense by Steve Sombrado. And there, a big check by Krause, Andy Krause. Krause playing 2 guys, but they cannot get the ball. Here comes. Whoa! Wrestled down by the head was Volker. And anytime you go to the head, you know the rule by now, you're going to take a little break to the penalty box. That'll be a 2-minute penalty on Sombrado. But New York, sensing the do-or-die nature of this game, has stepped up the defense a notch. Look how they've stepped it up. 1 big hit, 2 big hits. Krause is in there. Sombrado comes back in for more. Now Sombrado chases the field down. He is really hustling, and he just goes over for the check, doesn't get the stick, but pulls down ahead. That would be a great move in a rodeo in Wyoming. Here it gets in 2 minutes. Ball Gate to Gary Gate down to Finneran. That's how he starts the power play. Back door, big save. Sal Licasio was waiting there on the back door. He anticipated it. He had a great save. 2 minutes to go, 12-6. 3 goals for the Wings on EMO, 2 on man down. They scored 5 in uneven situations. No goals on the power play for the Saints, and that has killed them as much as anything because they have had their opportunities. A team that doesn't score much, and of course, we would expect they'd have troubles in the power play if they're not a great offensive team, and that's the case with New York. Gordon Purdy. Nico Red Arrow. He's going to be open with the screen shot. Nope, shot clock expires. They burned up too much time. 30 seconds gone. Here comes Paul Gate, looking for the shot, doesn't get it. Licasio, wait a minute, the whistle blows. They want to reset that whole fast break. Just take it out of your mind. Disregard. And now it'll be Philadelphia ball. Christy?
Well, Leaf, I want to make this point real quick. Gordon Purdy came in just a few moments ago complaining about the slippery floor. He's complaining about condensation from the hockey game that was here earlier today. He says it's causing him a whole lot of problems, especially in a one-on-one-on situation. We'll have to wait and see if that becomes a factor. But Kiplinger took a slip not too long ago, so we'll have to watch the state. It seems to be a factor for them.
All right, both teams, of course, playing on the same surface, so it balances there. But the foot gear, if it's different, Adidas, the official shoe sponsor, we'll have to see if that footing becomes a factor. 1 minute left, third quarter, 6 goals. A lot of physical contact. Here's New York moving it out in front. And the check from behind, the pull down. And it'll be power play for New York. They've really had a tough time on the power play. They really haven't gotten it going. They don't have the great sticks of primarily the Gates and Marichek. Panetta. No ball movement like you see on Philadelphia. A lot of carrying it around. Shifting a different style. Here's Cummings from way out front with 6 seconds left of the shot clock. That'd be a bad shot if it wasn't a power play. On a power play, it's a horrible shot. Stick was on the outside of the cylinder, and he was way out in front, and there was no screen. Nothing going for that shot. 30 seconds left. In the third quarter, Philadelphia they're going to eat up another at least 12 seconds. They're a man short. They're rotating some players in here. 19 on the quarter, 7 on the shot clock. Krause gets the loose ball. Now we've got 15. They've got a chance to get a shot off here. I hope they look at the clock because they might lose the opportunity. Only 10 left. I don't know if they know there's only 6 left. 5. All the way into the cylinder. No. Cutter all the way across. 2-1. No shot will come. Steve Sombrado too late. Third quarter ends. They don't get a good shot on Dallas Elliott. The Wings have answered the push of the Saints. They lead by 6 as we go into the fourth quarter. The final quarter before the championship game next week. You've got Chopper on one half of the arena here at the Spectrum, and you've got Big Gabe on the other, and they go back and forth cheerleading this avid fan group here that has supported the Wings. The Wings voted the most popular sports franchise in Philadelphia through Philadelphia's local magazine. So they've got a great following here in Philadelphia. They've also had 2 Mill championship rings. They'd like to get a third this year. If they win this game, they will get a chance to do just that against Buffalo next week. Panetta, Wheels, they need goals in a hurry. Both goalies still remain. Lacasio for New York, Dallas Elliott for Philadelphia. They've gone all the way. Third quarter stats show you that the shots are pretty even. The loose balls, again, controlled by Philadelphia as they have been by a small margin here by 8, actually. It's pretty hefty. So they are beating everybody on the ground balls, and that really controls the tempo. Face-offs about even. It'll be a different story in Buffalo in the ground ball department because nobody gets ground balls like Jim Veltman and company, and that is what makes Buffalo a tough challenge for these Philadelphia Wings. New York now, the 6-goal deficit. Under 14 minutes to play in the game. They need some offense. Cummings. Bob Cummings will shoot them out front. Takes the hard shot. Big save. Christy Lee.
Well, Leaf, one of the offensive powerhouses for the Philadelphia Wings, Rob Scheck, as you notice, has not got his face mask on. Rob has apparently a separated shoulder. Explain to us what happened.
Well, I was coming down the field trying to push the ball, and the guy who was playing defense on me took a nosedive, and he just took my feet right out from under me. I landed on my shoulder kind of awkward, and I knew as soon as I did it, something was wrong.
I know it's early, but do you think you can play in the championship game?
They don't know how serious it is right now. We'll wait and see during the week, see how things go.
All right, thanks a lot, Rob Scheck. Good luck to you. One of the most offensive powerhouses they have here on the Wings, Leaf. Shame to see that happen to Rob Scheck.
Rob Scheck, a great talent, and he's got something else on his mind. He's a member of the United States national team that'll play for the U.S. in England in July. And you can bet he wants to be healthy for that as well as for the championship next week at the Mill. So a sad moment for Scheck, but his Philadelphia Wings are doing a great job. They're right on their scoring average. 12 goals at the 3 quarters puts them on a 16 goals, a little bit above their yearly average of 15 plus per game in the offense. The Saints, 6 goals through 3 quarters, a little bit below their average for the season. They don't score enough anyway, so they have to do what amounts to almost a miracle here in the fourth quarter. Hard shot against Elliott. He needs a save. Hold call. And the Gates, that's Ball Gates trying to play defense. A lot of off-the-ball stuff going on. That's what the crowd is reacting to. You're going to see some fights, I think, folks. The frustration level is at about pinning the meter right now. Ballgate coming on the fast break, ridden off beautifully by Andy Krause to the B, Philadelphia ball. The Gates learned their great skills in lacrosse in the Victoria area, British Columbia, Western Canada, and had a fantastic history-making career at Syracuse University here in the States. Billy Miller coming in between two defenders. Watch out, Bates shoots and deflected off of Salacasio. Big save from him. Under 12 minutes left. Still 6-goal lead. Oh, Johnny Nostrick now down. He had a bad shoulder earlier in the season. He has been down for a little bit. Let's see. He's going up very slowly. Oh, no. It could be that same shoulder. Nostrin had a bad shoulder early. He may have gotten it knocked off again. It was partially separated. Look at that hit. Krause gets a major penalty for it as we look at Johnny Nostrin come off the field. Nostrin, one of many players that have come into the major indoor lacrosse league from Washington College. One more time. Nostrin comes in with the left hand. Gets nailed. Oh, up on top of the head. Ooh. Now, his shoulder looks like it probably survived that fine, but his neck might not have. Meanwhile, Philadelphia beats Salacasio, and they are pouring it on. 7-goal lead for the runners-up last year to the North American Cup. They are determined this year. Take a look at this one. Ball goes into the cylinder, and Lacasio, with nobody in front of him, gets beat by Gary Gate again. Gary Gate has owned them. Gate came in. He missed the last game of the season. Gary did. His brother Paul got 10 goals in that game, and Gary looks like he wants to add to his offensive numbers. Start thinking a little bit about the matchups of Philadelphia and Buffalo. 13-6 the score, 11 minutes left. If it ends up that way, Philadelphia has the best offensive numbers in the league, the best defensive numbers in the league. Buffalo has the crowd up there, has 2 rings on their fingers in the last 2 years. Paul Gate coming in, watch out, Salacasio! The Gate brothers taking over the game, the Floodgates. Dow's about had enough. Here comes Paul in, makes one fake, beats them hip high. They lead by 8, 10 minutes to go in this one, but it's all Gate brothers. Well, Dallas Elliott is being cheered by the crowd. The crowd on their feet for the great goalie, Dallas Elliott. He is the #1 goalie in this league, first-team All-Pro. He just came out being replaced by Andy Piazza. And this crowd knows full well when the going gets tough, it all stops with Dallas Elliott. Tony Resch happy with his team's performance, and now Andy Piazza 0-1, but he did a nice job in New York. I'll tell you what, his numbers were okay up there. The offense just went to sleep on him. But Piazza had a great game in New York. His record 0-1, but that doesn't show the experience and quality of goal he has played. This is Gabrielson. Trailing player is Flynn. He's being wrapped up by McNichol. This is Cummings trying to find Flynn. Can't chase him down. Shot against Lacasio. He makes a big save. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer is getting ready to go in. No, he's not. He's got his equipment on. Pfeiffer's the backup goalie for New York. See if Doc uses him before this game's over to give him a reward for a good year behind the great Salacasio. Cummings working on the far side against Bates. Looking to the back door. Oh, almost gets it through. Defensive push will give it back to the New York Saints. Really on a 4-0 run in goals, and that's over the last 10 minutes. They took over this game. It was 10-6 at one point. And the Gate brothers said, that's close enough. Oliver Marty from Brown comes in, tries to get open. He's isolated on one side. Double team, takes the shot under Flynn. Another shot. Oh, off the backboard and into the net. Bates. Fast break. Here we go. Kisslinger. Watch the trailing player. Here comes Martin. They'll try to get a shot. Flynn to Martin. Big save. Christy Lee. Dallas Elliott has had a heck of a game.
That's right, Leafy joins me on the bench. Dallas, first of all, congratulations on a great game tonight and your all-pro win. We also would like to ask you a little bit. I noticed you were sitting over here with ice on your neck.
Yeah, I like ice on my neck. It feels good.
Is that from the Boston game, still kind of that reoccurring injury?
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. And I guess we've got an insurmountable lead. At this point, the coaches are giving me a bit of a rest.
Well, okay, let's look ahead to Buffalo.
All right.
What's it going to take from Dallas?
Oh, it's going to take a team effort, I think, to beat Buffalo in their home arena. You know what 16,000 plus does for the home team. It makes quite a difference. So we're going to have to play as hard as we can and keep our heads into the game.
Thank you very much. All-pro goalie Dallas Elliott in a great game here tonight, Leaf.
All right, Christine, I'll tell you what that ice is all about. We all know he is needing air conditioning. They weigh about 40 pounds more than normal when they put all that equipment on, and he's looking for an air-conditioned house underneath all that equipment. He gets it with that bag of ice. Andy Piazza makes the big save. Andy Piazza is a first-team All-American his senior year at North Carolina. And there's the air conditioning unit strung on the back of Dallas Elliott. Nice cool water dripping down the back. These guys all look huge. If you watch our news coverage, you think the goalies must be some kind of sumo wrestler family that moved into the town to play goalie, but they're not. They're all normal size, light, strong, physically fit men that wear a lot of pads to protect themselves against 100-mile-an-hour shots like that one. Latasio outlets to the far side. 7:50 left, an 8-goal lead for the Philadelphia Wings, the home team. Panetta, Oliver Marty now. They're moving the ball quite nicely against Piazza, but they can't beat him. That was a nice screen as well. Piazza blocked it beautifully. Davis bounces it to Piazza. Piazza comes up with good motion and outlets to the far side. This is Kevin Finneran. He's had a great game. One of those unsung heroes. Kevin almost instinctively looks away. Watch the shot in close by Gary. Kevin Finneran almost instinctively looks away no matter where he is, no matter whether it's effective or not when he passes it. So if he gets past left, he automatically looks right to try to get the defense off. That shot by Cummings goes wide right. The Saints have scored nary a goal in the last 13 minutes. So the offensive problems continue for the team in New York. Krause picks it back up. They'll try to test Piazza again. That one right in his stomach. Kevin Finneran again showing the great legs. Great speed. Tries to find Maricek. Maricek can't quite pick it up. Krause doesn't even know where it is, but Panetta comes up to pick it up. 6:30 left in the game. This one comfortably in the pocket of the Philadelphia Wings. I could lie to you and tell you there's a chance for New York, but there is none. Chris Flynn comes in, the all-pro face-off man. He's a big favorite here in Philadelphia. Played as I mentioned, football and lacrosse for Flynn. Still works in the Philadelphia area. Mark Dillon, rookie, against Volker. Dillon all along, trying to beat Piazza, cannot get it. He got air, went to the near corner, and just missed it. Nice move. It's like call a push on Martin and get it back to New York. Watch the beautiful move. He'll get air and try to come back to the near corner. He tried to go all the way across and hit the near corner and just missed it high. Piazza reminding him that he got the better of him. A little bit of pushing and shoving. This game has been very keenly fought. Usually an actual competition. There hasn't been much fighting at the point. They've gone to the box several times. Roy Condon now putting Panetta in the box with 5:48 left. An 8-goal lead for Philadelphia. And now it'll be a power play for the Wings. That's Kevin Finneran. A great collegiate career at Ohio Wesleyan. 7th win in for Philadelphia. So 4-on-4, each team sending a player to the box. Nico Red Arrow, he'll take a shot against Piazza. He's got rope. Finally, the offense breaks the drought. They get goal number 7. It's 14-7 game with 5.5 minutes left. Nico Red Arrow with the last goal for New York. Here's a look at the Gates on the sideline. Gary, 6-1. Paul, 3-3. That's 9 goals, 4 assists combined. Gary couldn't make the game in Boston. They usually average about 10 goals apiece, so when Gary couldn't make the game, got hung up at the airport. Paul got 10 goals. Picked up the slack for brother. Gary Gates helping the assistant coach at the University of Maryland women's team, and that team is, if not the best team in the country, they are 1 or 2. They've been number 1 for most of the season. I don't know where they are this week, but they've been unbeatable in women's lacrosse. Gary Gates, a big part of that success. Oliver Marty now with 5 minutes and 13 seconds left. Martin playing tough defense against him. Shot clock down to 8. Kisslinger, defensive specialist in college. Let's see how he takes a shot. Way wide. Showed you that he's mostly a defensive player. Tries to keep it back in. It'll be a backcourt violation on New York. Shot on still is Sal Ocasio. I had to check for a moment because after the timeout, I wasn't sure if they put Vinny Pfeiffer in there. They have not. That is Sal Ocasio. I wouldn't be surprised if Doc put Pfeiffer in there. He's had a full season. He deserves a few minutes, and that's going to happen right now, folks. Here comes Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer comes into the game. Sal Ocasio comes out. Tony Resch getting his offensive team ready for next week's challenge. They lead 14-7. Under 5 minutes left in this game. Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the mothership, ESPN. Major indoor lacrosse, best 2 teams. It'll be the Buffalo Bandits against the Philadelphia Wings, a rematch of last year, and I'm telling you, you'll see it all in that game, including some kind of rabid, crazy crowd. It'll be standing room only in the Alden Buffalo. Last year, Philadelphia couldn't overcome that crowd. This year, they hope to. And the score by quarters shows you the lack of offense for New York. They had a run going in the 3rd, but then it was turned back by Philadelphia at the Gates, and they have been consistent throughout the game, the offense for Philadelphia. Pete Gage still working hard right there. The red suspenders become a fixture here at the Spectrum for the Wings game. Comes down from Vermont to see his son play in these games. He deserves a little airtime. What you think? 14-7 the score in the 4th period, and now it's a power play 4-on-3 for Philadelphia. Maricek boosts it back to Denikin, but Pfeiffer comes over to pick it up. Vinny Pfeiffer coming in for Sal Ocasio for the closing moments of this game. That's Piazza who just misses the hit by Nico Red Arrow. Open goal. Nico can find it. Rope. No. Glove. Save. Beautiful save by Piazza. The crowd is on their feet. Piazza hustled out of the net and made a glove, barehanded save on Nico Red Arrow's shot. He is a happy guy. There you go, Piazza, to beat the man. And Christy Lee talked about it earlier, but that was the problem with that shot. Nico Red Arrow held a little too long, and it gave him a chance. Watch Nico come across. If he shoots earlier, he gets a goal. Now, if he shoots, there's nothing to stop. But he waits for him to get back in a little bit set. A big save for Andy Piazza. It won't have an impact on the outcome of the game, but it sure makes him better prepared if he has to go in against the great team from Buffalo. Roy Conti, Tom Young, they are talking it over. They are 2 crew chiefs, by the way, that'll make up 2 of the 3 positions that'll be up there in Buffalo for the championship game. Rich Tamburino will be the other one. There's an honorarium, the championship game, the 3 best guys through the scoring system of the referees under the tutelage and the instruction of Jack Tucker. All right, Tommy Young getting things squared away. They're putting Oliver Marty into the penalty box. extra man situation will come up. The Saints have been pitiful. 0 for 3. The Wings 4 out of 6. Paul Gate will inbound. It'll be a power play, 5 against 3 for Philadelphia, as if they needed any help. 14-7 to score. Backdoor Denikin against Vinny Pfeiffer, who's been in for Sal Licasio for the final moments of this game. Not fair for Vinny Pfeiffer. He goes in there and he faces a 2-man disadvantage on the defensive end. Denikin happy. A backdoor goal. So easy in the power play. Take a look. Here he is right in front of you. All the way across. Defense can't get there in time. You really got to take away those inside guys and make them shoot them up top. Tough 5-on-3. Denikin wide open. Backdoor slam dunk. No factor. The goalie in that one. It's all technique of the offense. Denikin gets an easy goal for him. His third of the night. Face-off now controlled by Miller. 99 against 88 Kinslinger. Johnny Nostrin over to Denikin, who comes back in after scoring the last goal. They'll reset that power play. Here comes Paul Gate. Rocket shot. Pfeiffer just washes it off from the board. Look at Purdy's speed. Beats Nostrin down. Trailing players McCabe. McCabe will shoot. Wraps it around the shoulders, and Piazza makes his shoulder save. Purdy now looks for McCabe again. Nobody's open. Bates trying to keep Purdy away from the cylinder, away from the shooting angle. Purdy working from behind, making Piazza look from behind the goal to the front if he can get somebody to feed. They're a man short, don't forget, so New York will not hurry things up. They've got 5 defenders in front of them. Philadelphia will just take their time unless Kinslinger and company forces the issue. Kinslinger lobs back up to Cummings. He'll take a shot in tight. Oh, inside, wide open. He looked nickel, but he didn't see him. Shot clock expires. It'll be Philadelphia's ball. Christie.
Well, Leaf, George Corrigan, the assistant coach, we're going to ask him a question about Paul and Gary Gate. With the championship game, George, just a week away, why leave Paul and Gary on the field when you have an 8-goal advantage with just 2 minutes left?
I'll tell you, we don't think about that a lot, Christy. I played against him for 10 years. I've never seen him get hurt, ever. So we're trying to get our extra man in sync for Buffalo, and we're going to leave him in and let him continue playing and scoring, hopefully.
There you have it. George Corrigan on the gate to address a little under about 2 minutes left in the game, keeping him out there.
Well, Christie, there's no question the gates are durable. Sometimes, though, you get a little too complacent with that. Every year they get a year older, so you are taking a risk. It's just that these guys have done everything asked of them since they went to Syracuse, and injuries have not been any factor in their career. They've really never been out for an injury for any length of time, and that says a lot because these guys get double teamed, triple teamed consistently. Sobrano comes in, Andy Piazza with another save, and there's a minute and a half left in the game as Piazza really starts to hone his skills. Gary Gate. He's got Nostrin to his right. Watch the defense come down. Hackham, 2 players can't get him. He switches hands, goes back to his left, misses the pipe. Another shot out front. Vinny Pfeiffer makes another save. Pfeiffer comes way out too far. Now goes back to the goal. Shot clock is at reset 30. Uh-oh, Paul Gate looks for a rope. Well, it's nothing but fun out there for the offense right now. The Spectrum enjoying every moment. Paul Gate. Easy goal for him. Take another look. Ball comes in. No defense until that moment. Cummings played defense eventually, but off stick side on Vinny. Pfeiffer's made some great saves to give him a chance, but the offense is all over the defense of New York. And again, looks like they may control the faceoff. Not so. This is picked up by New York. Ralph over to O'Keefe. O'Keefe looks for help down low. Nobody there. Panetta looks for O'Keefe. And by O'Keefe, but he is really being crushed by Gabrielson. Gabrielson keeping him out of the cylinder, keeping him away from a high percentage shot. Gordon Purdy beats 3 players. Can he shoot it close? No! Who knocks him down but Scott Gabrielson? And he might get the penalty, but he took away a shot right in the face of Andy Piazza. Piazza says, thanks, buddy. Martin gets the call on the penalty. He'll go over to the box. Gary will sit down for the rest of the game with 29 seconds unless they score a goal. 5-on-4 now. New York hasn't scored on the power play yet. There's one that Piazza flushes aside. Follow up by Kissinger. Doesn't find pipe or rope. And out of bounds for the good of Philadelphia. Only 18 seconds left before this crowd savors their last look at a team that could win it all this year. Philadelphia is now reaping all the rewards. The crowd is now looks like they've given up. New York is saying it's all over. 10-goal win for Philly.